Acadiana, and welcome to Higher Thought. I am Mo. Nade is out taking care of some important hydraulic business. Jacob's in there handling our business on the electronic dancing pixie end, and Shahid is keeping the insanity in check. Life is good. Hope things are good for you. The rainstorm that went through, lots of places, streets are flooding in weird ways that we haven't seen before. So if you're home, wait a while and stay there. If you're on the road, turn the YouTube off and drive your car. There was something else. Oh, my mom. Kathleen Babineau Blanco is fighting the cancer.
Damn.
That's come up in my news feed, and it sucks. And she's not gonna, from what I understand, she's not gonna keep doing the treatments, and is just gonna go to the care that
What did I walk into?
kills the pain until things build up and go away.
Damn.
Well,
Bummer?
I-
Bummer?
no, but you know what? She's the last one that gave teachers a raise.
Yeah.
Blanco.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That sucks.
Oh, well, daylight come and we want to go home.
Day.
Misery. Daylight come and we want to go home.
Dale. Banana.
Hey-oh. So I'm looking forward to that Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice
Part 2.
Beetle extra juicy.
Extra juicy. Welcome to Higher Thought. Apologize for my tardiness. You know how we be running on CPT?
Yeah, exactly.
That Caucasian people time. I could lose the glasses.
Oh,
I guess. I'm
dude,
getting a little
we
glare.
had
I'm
a
getting
nice
glare.
little chat going into it.
Well, I figured Jacob would help you hold it down.
Oh no, I did that all on me.
That was all you?
Oh, that was all me.
you. Good job
Dude,
guy. Good
you
job.
actually need to watch the replay for a change.
I watch the replay sometimes.
Yeah.
But welcome to Higher Thought.
Nade.
Nade,
Mo.
Mo.
We are in his house.
It's the spring break hashtag adulting edition.
Adulting.
Adulting.
Buzz Crispies dealing with adulting type issues.
Adulting type issues. I mean, like, I've done so much like laundry and dishes and sweeping and washing dogs and
Oh, you washed the dog.
I washed the dog and the dog's been getting
Damn,
some
dude.
walks and all the stuff that I mean, you gotta,
I'm thinking about taking mine to the Pet Smart thing. Get them to go ahead, give the dog a bath, trim its nails.
give them a
brush it
spa
out.
day basically.
Right,
The
and
equivalent of a
basically-
dog spa day.
Because I haven't done shit and stuff and
Stuff. TVMA here.
yeah, and way too long other than brush out the mats.
We're probably more TV 14, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, whatever.
And then taxes.
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 I thought about living in taxes, but the property was too expensive.
Well, you know what they call it whenever you do your taxes with your feet, right?
No.
A pedophile.
Oh!
You get it.
You sick bastard!
You get it.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, I mean, you're doing it with your feet, like
Yeah,
pedicure.
yeah.
Anyways. So, happy spring break to everyone. Hope you survived the naughty weather.
Oh man, shenanigans!
But the sun will come out.
Well, the sun is
Right
out.
now, right now.
We were talking about
Not tomorrow.
We were talking about the flooded roads. Well, I was talking to them, and hopefully they were paying attention.
Are you listening, Acadiana? Are you enjoying your break? Why don't you give us a call? We miss you. It's 366-8950. This is the Thursday edition. If you're watching us on replay, like on 420, and you're all baked, You know, there's not much we can do to help you.
Actually, you could still call.
You can still call. You know, you might get another show.
Right, and it will be
And it will
entertaining.
blow your mind.
It'll blow their mind.
You know, so we have had 420 shows before, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, and talking about the history, of course. You know, when the 420 comes from like a group
The
of people,
group of people that would meet.
right, and they were investigating or trying to find some treasure. Of yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple other little, I guess, get the 420 stuff out of the way.
Carl's Jr.
Carl's Jr. and Hardee's locally.
Hardee's locally, but
It's at Carl's Jr. in Denver,
Right.
Colorado.
Right. This deal is Carl's Jr. only, and then only in Denver, Colorado.
But it's basically the first of its kind, a CBD infused burger, only for $4.20. But it's only going to cost, you can guess,
$4.20.
$4.20.
Does that include tax? Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not.
Bastards.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it depends on how much they charge for tax over there. But speaking of CBD, which is like a big thing, I guess, nowadays, Cajun Cannabis is opening here in Lafayette, Louisiana, on Johnson Street.
Heard about that.
Where it's going to open, I believe, on 4/20, April 20th.
Good for them.
But it's going to be a bunch of CBD products, no weed as of yet.
Right. Well, depending on
They've got a big old grow area.
if things turn out well, they are in a prime position to be very successful.
Well, and apparently it's like the first ever brand of like Louisiana stuff.
Right.
So,
Well-
and of course they call it Cajun Cannabis.
Right. Well, there was weed that was grown in Louisiana and then transported to other places, but they didn't call it Cajun Cannabis.
Well, and it wasn't official.
No, it was. Oh no, it was definitely not official.
So,
It was being shipped in the, Anyway,
yeah, so those are a couple of 420 stories for you. Here's one for you. 2,400-year-old solid gold bong used by kings to smoke cannabis and opium is found by experts. They say that this was used in rituals to achieve like higher thought,
obviously.
and ultimately it had like resin that showed, had traces of the cannabis and opioids and all
And
that
where
stuff.
were these people located?
Um,
Does it say?
I did not get that part. I think it was like near Sumeria or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah. Or possibly, I'm sure it's in that little golden region between Sumeria and Egypt and all that good stuff.
When all the good things were happening, like agriculture and writing and
Surely.
stuff like that.
Let me mark which ones that we've kind of covered here. So those are our 420 stories. Also, another stories for you stoners out there. Chips Ahoy Chewy cookies are being recalled due to bad cornstarch.
Wait, what? Bad cornstarch?
It basically solidifies. Like, I don't know, maybe makes the cookie too hard or makes it not taste good.
Mm.
So, yes, indeed. A big news story this past week. I'm sure you probably heard of this. The Notre Dame Cathedral burning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Filled up my news feed.
Well,
At the exact same time, the Al-Aqsa Mosque caught fire.
which is like one of the third biggest mosques, and it wasn't as big of a fire, and people are complaining about that. People are also complaining that there's been like billions of dollars raised to fix it, whereas that money could go to feed starving children. But here's kind of where, higher thought, we kind of get into the critical thinking aspects of things. How about this one? 4 days before the fire, conveniently, 16 historic statues were removed. 4 days before the fire.
They're in the process of rebuilding.
They were renovating, of
I
course.
mean-
So they're in the process of renovation, which apparently this is a common thing in the history of church construction fires. basically when they need some little renovations, they have like a little fire. Certain things where the fire was kind of like basically it burned where things needed to be replaced.
Okay.
So, I mean, let's see, a 2017 article saying they were in desperate need of repair. Yeah. So,
Well,
I mean,
that's
it just
a
makes you
pretty
wonder.
sketchy way to.
Well,
okay.
insurance claim right quick.
One good thing has come of it. The 3 churches in Opelousas, the black churches that burned,
Mm-hmm.
from what I've read online, they've garnered more than $1 million in GoFundMe or whatever
Sure.
donations for rebuilding.
Fantastic.
I think that's an awesome
You should
thing.
have a sanctuary of worship. Everybody should.
It should.
You know, for some people it's churches, some people it's mosques, some people it's nature.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean-
Nature. Someplace calm, quiet, and out of the way.
Exactly. How about this was also big news? Trump is cleared by the Mueller report, at least of any criminal wrongdoing. And let's see, that wasn't even the main story I had on Trump. It basically, he had his second veto. Did you hear about that one? His
I do.
veto.
I remember hearing it, and I've forgotten what the deal was. Tell
Well-
me what the deal was.
Well, Congress was trying to defund I guess the assistance that we were offering to Saudi's defensive war against Yemen.
Oh, I did. Yeah. I mean,
And,
you know
we're
what?
in tight with the Saudis
I
right
know
now.
that part, but still, why should we help fund their war against a different faction of Islam that happens to exist in another country?
Well, because the
Being
Saudis
Yemen.
are the face of the Western movement in the Middle East.
But the thing is, we don't buy that much oil from them. What's the...
I mean, it's just like WWE is in with Saudi Arabia. Like, they just killed that journalist, and they're still doing shows in Saudi Arabia, you know, despite people being kind of against it. So, who calls during the show?
Oh, somebody loves you.
I'm not going to answer that. Come on. So, yeah, that's Trump news. No more of that.
No.
How about the Dems being called out, the Democrats being called out for having their own dark money contributor? They always are talking trash about, man, we got a call here.
Yeah.
Let's see what the caller has to say about it.
Good evening.
Hey, well, I usually am content to let Nick read off his bullshit, but it's the Saudi defensive war. No, they are bombing poor people, and they have been for years in Yemen. Yemen ain't bombing them. Yemen doesn't have planes.
You
Oh, I
got a point. Yemen doesn't have 2 nickels to rub together.
Which, by the way, I wasn't by no means showing support. I was just simply reading the fake news.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is like the source you were reading from is telling because of that word, a defensive war. They are not.
That's what the headline read, right? A defensive war against
Yeah,
Yemen.
but that's the question. Then who wrote that headline?
I believe I pulled it from one of the major news sites. I think it was like MSN or one of those.
Yeah.
You know,
The propaganda machine.
no doubt.
Right. Well,
And that's why we don't claim to be the real news or the fake news for that matter. We're just
Right.
basically fake real news or real
real
fake.
fake news. Real fake news.
You know, sometimes we just read the headlines. I don't even read the articles, you know, just because, like, hey, I don't want to read about Trump. I've read enough about Trump, you know.
So, you know what? It's kind of like with the Mueller report. I'm glad it's done. I mean, whatever the long-term fallout is, fine. It's done. Let's move on.
Well, and personally, I've kind of just determined that politics are almost kind of like professional wrestling. Like, the outcomes are already determined, you know, and it's just a bunch of political actors that are going out there and kind of just making all the controversy, stirring it up, you know,
Okay,
whatever.
so
It's
who's the Vince McMahon then?
there is somebody like the dark puppetry is going on, basically, and this is what the next article I was getting into about how both the Democrats and the Republicans have dark money contributors. Basically, the Democrats, the one that got called out was Arabella Advisors, and it's these nonprofit shell companies that are able to fund and buy off politicians, essentially on both sides.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
When you say dark, what do you mean by it?
Meaning, like, they don't want it known that they contributed billions of dollars to a campaign.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Should people be allowed to do that? Hide their contributions? What do you think,
No,
caller?
we should have publicly funded elections. You should only be able to spend the same amount of money that anybody else who threw their hat in the ring can spend, and it ain't a lot.
Well, because essentially you could buy an election, right? Because...
Well, no, that's the thing, is you wouldn't be able to, because you would have campaign finance laws in place that would only allow you to spend as much as the next guy. So everybody for the presidency gets, $20 million. You can spend your $20 million however you want it. When it's gone, it's gone.
And then
That's it.
what? They just don't do anything if they spend all their
Well,
money?
for one thing, this would come with the effective limitation of the length of the election cycle. Why are we talking about the presidency 18 months
Oh, dude.
before the election?
We've been talking about the next election since like
Since
6
the last-
months after
Yeah.
Trump
Well,
got
and
elected.
Moberly here seems to believe that Trump is on his way out. But I was just saying that after the Mueller report and the fact that we haven't had a 4-year president since the first George Bush, that's not how the NWO gets their agenda done. They do 8-year presidents.
They want their money's worth. Yeah, I don't see him losing unless he faces Sanders in the general election. I don't see anyone else.
I don't even think Sanders stands a chance.
Sanders would mop the floor with him.
Yeah.
Trump would lose by 10 points at the least. Because Sanders is an outsider who can actually walk in the same world that Trump walks in. He hates the establishment.
But those two different ideals are the most clashing ideals. Like a Trump supporter versus a Sanders supporter is the makings of a civil war.
Vote for Sanders. Sanders would
But who has all the guns? The Sanders supporters or the Trump supporters?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because he, there are a ton of liberals that are for gun rights.
Oh,
gun
absolutely.
rights is a liberty thing. It's a liberal thing. It's just that you have a lot of these centrist Democrats that are against, the Second Amendment. But liberals aren't against the Second Amendment. Progressives aren't against the Second Amendment. Now they probably want more laws regarding going in and buying a gun. It should be like buying a car. It should take a little bit of time and a
Sure.
little bit of background.
Well, does buying a car really take any time or background other than checking your credit history?
This is no different really with a gun.
With
know,
a
but-
gun.
they-
They run you that through the
Not
whatever
necessarily. There are a
background
lot of
check?
loopholes. You can buy a gun without those checks. That's
Well,
one
that's
thing.
true.
Well, the most armed militia in the entire world is the American public. We have more weapons than any other military does in the entire world,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, like 500 million.
So, and the more they talk about taking guns, is the bigger the sales that the gun companies make.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. I mean, they're not going to take your guns. It's just a marketing tactic.
Well,
But what it does is that it increases competition in the gun manufacturing industry, which drives down the prices of weapons like AR-10s, AR-15s, that like
Interesting.
right now you can pick up an AR-15 that's sold as a U assemble it kit.
Yeah, for like $800.
Oh no, dude, we're talking under $600.
Wow, that's a deal.
That is a deal.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm all for gun rights, man. They always say, "Oh, well, what do you need a gun for? The military has missiles." Yeah, well, tell that to all the people we've been fighting for decades in the Middle East. They don't have our military, but our military sure doesn't seem to be able to beat them.
Well, yeah, and I mean I'm glad you brought that up because it kind of led me to another thought of why would different countries want to try to interfere in our elections? And going back kind of to the Mueller report.
Right.
Because everyone has a vested interest in this. Basically, the American president is the world president. You know, and I mean, as far as what our military might can do and what we do with the financial system, you know.
Yeah, and not only that, but in relation to our own meddling in the governments of the world.
No doubt. So why wouldn't they want to meddle in our elections?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's been happening for decades, but this is, maybe more. Maybe they're getting better at it. The internet certainly makes things different.
Well, and speaking of the internet, I don't know if you heard about this one. Facebook account put Big Brother is watching, quote unquote, and the Masons were here in 10,000 virtual reality controllers on accident, apparently.
Whoa, what?
Oopsie.
Yeah.
Which might even be why AOC, not the channel that we're on right now, but Ocasio-Cortez is quitting Facebook.
Whoa.
And she's like the social media candidate.
Dang, she's quitting Facebook. Yeah, a lot of people are getting rid of it. I've kept
I'm
mine,
done with Facebook. I haven't
never kept it. I just
Facebookeried.
keep it,
Well, she says that social media is a health risk, which I'm kind of wondering maybe she was threatened to be murdered or something by her
Oh,
puppeteer.
well, that's true.
You know, for posting
Yeah.
something bad.
Yeah.
The other Muslim chick are getting tons of death threats.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. But it's a crazy time to live, man. But we appreciate the call. And
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I'll hang up and listen and maybe call back next week. Y'all have a good festival if y'all are going to check that out next week.
most definitely. And you have a happy April 20th as well if you partake.
Yep.
I will not remember any of it.
Yes, indeed.
Bye, y'all.
All right, have a good one. So, at least we don't live in Houston.
Wow, what happened in Houston?
The Houston mayor says if you want to know where this missing $400 million went, you got to pay me $2.8 million to find it.
What?
Because he's got to hire a staff to go and apparently he broke all kind of laws as far as you couldn't pay for something more than $50,000 at a time without getting permission for it. But apparently he spent over $400 million. And they didn't keep track of it.
Right.
So he says to hire people, it would take basically a year to add up all the stuff. So you got to pay them $2.8 million to do that study.
Oh, Jesus, God Almighty.
I'm sure he's not corrupt at all.
No, bureaucracy. It breeds.
Yeah.
A word.
But apparently, according to this report from the U.S. News and World Report, they claim that Louisiana is the worst state in the United States.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They say we're 47th in healthcare,
Right.
49th in education,
Right.
50th in opportunity, which is, I guess, based on poverty, equality, people with disabilities, stuff like that.
Right.
We're the worst in energy consumption, worst in water quality, and worst in recycling. A lot of worse.
Damn.
Yeah. Louisiana,
Damn.
come on.
People.
So, and there was all kind of other ones that were in the bottom 10 as well. So that's kind of unfortunate.
Education. That sucks.
But speaking of good old Louisiana, how about the guy, New Iberia, is our, the highlight of Louisiana, right?
DeBerry.
DeBerry, they got a guy that rode his motorcycle and crashed into a New Iberia Walmart. The police were able to identify him. Louisiana.
Have they captured him?
Probably so. I mean,
One-
it was
one
some
would hope.
doofus that rides his motorcycle into a Walmart.
I would never think to ride my motorcycle into a wall.
And then crash it. Another great Louisiana story here, and I've got some more Walmart stories, folks. But how about a former Bossier City officer is arrested for animal sex abuse and child pornography?
Oh.
Yikes.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
So no longer a cop though.
Nasty mother fudge cake.
So dirty. So not looking good, Louisiana. We got to try a little better than that. But
Please.
to round out our Walmart stories, Walmart is also adding these R2D2 robots, I guess. It's like these AI robots, 3,900 of them. You know, you've seen the self-checkouts. Now it's going to be the self-stocking. Well, basically it's going to be the robots that, you know, clean the floors, stock the shelves, scan the items, go get the online deliveries.
Now, see, I could see cleaning floors.
Mm-hmm.
That would free other people up to organize and restock and all that kind of
Sure, I mean, like Walmart can pay you $15 an hour, but there's only going to be a couple people working at Walmart.
Gotcha.
You know, and eventually it might even be a robot greeter. You know, they're going to take Grandma and Grandpa's job as the greeter that checks your receipt, you know, whenever you buy dog food or cans of soda. You know, and just say, hey, you know, let me see. Did you get that checked out? Because I'll admit, like,
Yeah.
I might have forgotten that I had some, like, 12 packs of Coke underneath my buggy, like, back before they used to check that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
like, I was in college, so my memory was bad.
I
then.
just always remember them with the highlighter on my receipt, and it's just like, dude.
Well, a lot of people.
I got places to be. You're slowing me down.
It was an accident, you know. It was an accident.
Yeah.
And then finally, this Walmart story tops them all. In Wisconsin, they have a family here. A family.
A family.
Just reaping destruction.
Family.
This-
Oh.
This woman, you know, the mom,
Mom.
is in there doing karate on the displays. Like, just like going to town, like, you know, like, it's methed up, ladies and gentlemen.
Totally
It's methed up.
Methed up.
Her 25-year-old son got naked in the store, then ended up stealing some clothes, putting them on,
Right. Well, he was naked, so all of a sudden he needed to put on clothes.
and trying to escape, he got into one of those little carts. And then tried to run over the cops in the cart. They brought their dog, too.
Oh, Jesus.
So, and his name was Bo. So little Bo was just running around the store.
Bo
which I think
knows-
was actually the initial call was like, hey, somebody's dog's running around in the store. And Bo went straight to the cornbread. And he got the Jiffy cornbread. And I guess it kind of made a mess of that. So,
That's crazy.
Walmart stories. Gotta love them.
Much better than the yellow vest stories.
Yeah. Yellow vest. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, revolution. Viva revolution. No.
After a while.
How about Ecuador?
Ecuador?
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than Assange or just Ecuador in general?
Oh, well, they've been hit by 40 million cyber attacks since Assange's arrest.
Damn. That's brutal.
Yep. Hillary Clinton says, of course, because she lost the election, large part because of him, that he must answer for what he's done.
And what did he do but make information publicly available?
Exactly. And another article that I had read associated with that is basically Assange's arrest is an existential threat to journalism. You know, and basically where you stand on Assange says whether you are us versus them.
An existential threat to journalism.
Basically, if you can't expose government's wrongdoing,
Right?
then without, you know, facing these consequences, then that's not
Gotcha.
journalism.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So free Assange is what we need, right?
I don't know. What was the whole
I
deal?
mean, he's not even an American citizen.
No, he's what, like an Australian
Right.
who was fleeing a charge of assault or whatever in Sweden,
Right.
who went to Great Britain, who got jammed up with the CIA or who? I don't
Well,
know.
apparently he was working with the what's the Russian CIA?
Whatever came after the KGB.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically the
Yeah.
KGB is. I think they still have the KGB actually. Did you hear the Department of Defense got audited?
By who?
I guess by the government or the IRS or whoever
Oh, okay. And
for
let
the
me
first
guess.
time in 17 years.
Yes. Wait, first audit in 17 years?
Because they had passed a law, I think, like 17 years ago, saying like that they didn't have to answer to different stuff like that.
And is this law now expired?
Well, they decided like, hey, we're missing some money, so let's audit.
Good. Good, good.
So the audit of the Department of Defense and the House of Urban Development, Housing and Urban Development, which of course,
Okay.
all this money that's missing is
Right, but you got to separate the two when you
they put
present
them
the
they
data.
put them the two together. But I think they just threw HUD under the bus, you know, because most of this is probably Department of Defense. Anyways,
Yeah.
$21 trillion is unaccounted for in only 17 years.
21
Unaccounted for.
trillion.
We don't know where we spent it.
dollars.
21 trillion. Isn't that the debt right now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's around 21 trillion. We could have paid the debt.
Whatever the black ops are, the off budget.
The black bud, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that here in a second, talking about this 5G apocalypse that's coming.
Oh yeah. Cook them brains.
Woo! Let's see. I think that wraps up my major news stuff.
Right.
News.
News.
I've got some entertainment, got
Oh.
some sport, and a lot of studies.
Now, sport.
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 Sport. Well, this is somewhat sport and entertainment. But did you hear about the Florida kid that RKO'd his principal? We talked about it last week.
Yes.
It's a wrestling move, basically where you take them, and, drop them.
Right.
So, anyways, I think he'd gotten arrested for that or something like that for assault on his principal. Needless to say, the same kid basically got arrested again for RKOing a fake alligator in the mall.
What?
In the little swimming pool fountain, it was a fake
In
alligator.
the mall?
But he went and RKO'd it, and they got it on video. Needless to say, the kid gets arrested, but he's internet famous.
Right. Well,
Is it worth it?
there are times that being internet famous can totally be worth it.
Sure, he's got
Totally
a couple
be worth
stupid
it.
things on his record, but he's the guy that tried to RKO his principal and then RKO'd a fake alligator in the mall.
Right. And then you go on about your life.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yeah. I know guys like that.
I don't think he's gonna really get rich off
But
this.
no, it's not
I'm
about,
sure he'll get millions of views.
it's not about getting rich. It's about being a name. The name, if you process well, you become an influencer in social media.
And those people do get paid when
And
you have
hawk
ads
products. You use so and so's
We're not one
eye
of those.
cream and certain manscaping products. Yeah.
Do you put sour cream on yourself like that?
No, I don't.
That's a
think
lot to take in.
I don't think sour cream is manscaping.
How about so that kid.
That kid.
Paramount Pictures.
Right.
They want to remove some homosexual content from the new Elton John movie coming out, Rocket Man. Basically, it's some naked man spooning for about 40 seconds.
Right.
But they say that they want to showcase the gayness boldly and proudly, unlike Bohemian Rhapsody did for Freddie Mercury.
Well, that seems like a contradiction, doesn't it? If they want to remove the spooning scene.
Well, the director said that in response. that they want to be able to showcase boldly and proudly, the homosexuality, but the studio is against it. They want to cut that part.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Well,
So
then you
should they
do-
have to cut it?
You do 2 releases. You do a theatrical release without the
That's how you
spooning,
do those things
and
usually,
then
right?
you release a director's cut that has the spooning in it.
But I can understand a director like trying to fight for his belief in the
Right.
film, and if it makes the artistic representation more so of But it's basically 40 minutes of naked man spooning.
40 minutes?
40 seconds,
40
excuse me.
Okay,
40
yeah,
seconds.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Well,
No,
you can argue that.
That's way too much man spooning.
Which, how about like the latest biography or rockography movies that they've come out with? Of course
Which
we've
one?
had some great ones in the past. Oh well, the latest ones have really been Bohemian Rhapsody, and now we
Right.
get Rocket Man.
Okay.
Celebration of the gay singers. Ironic.
No. Wouldn't you think?
Well, I guess it's just kind of in nowadays. So, who's to say? There's a lot of people you could do movies on. Apparently, they did a movie on Netflix about Motley Crue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And
That-
so that looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I might have to check that out. But speaking of Netflix, they want a call for the end of the term chick flick.
Do they now?
Yeah, they think that the term is outdated. And basically, it just means like romantic comedies, which are like movies that guys usually like too. But I think like when you're talking your Lifetime movies, your drama movies, like most guys don't get into that.
No.
Yeah, so technically, I could see how that could be considered a woman-genred film.
Right.
Basically a chick flick.
A rom-com, I can see myself watching maybe if it's got some actorial interplay that I find intriguing.
Well, is the
But
term
otherwise-
chick offensive?
No, not to me.
It might be in the PC world, though.
It could be. Yo, chick.
Which, in that regard, that makes me look at the name Chick-fil-A in an entirely new light. Just like a fillet of chicks.
A chick you'd like?
Maybe so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just check.
Yeah. So fans are divided on that one. Speaking of big streaming services.
I'm sorry. Streaming services.
Yeah, streaming service. I'll come pee on you for like $10 an hour.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Please
streaming
continue.
services. It's funny we went right to that. It could have just been like water streaming on a car or something like a car wash.
Right. Working at the car wash, yeah.
Disney is unveiling their new service. It looks like it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah.
Not that expensive either. $6.99 a month.
Right. Man, less than $10 a month?
That's less than Hulu and Netflix.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And you're gonna be getting all kind of originals, all of like the whole libraries of the Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic, all that good stuff. So where do I sign up? You gotta have that. You gotta have that one.
Yeah.
Which of course, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. I guess people do that one.
I haven't bought into the Prime thing.
Yeah, me neither, really. Of course, like a lot of people like to have the access to the HBO, which I think you can get on Hulu now.
Can you?
I think it's like maybe a $5 extra buy-on. It's like maybe $15 per month if you get the HBO added onto your Hulu.
I don't even know what's on HBO.
Well, everybody's like talking about the Game of Thrones.
Oh. Oh, right. My lady friend.
Everybody's talking
her
about it.
son did the HBO Go so that he could stream Game of Thrones.
The Game of Thrones.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's into it. It's a thing.
I have not Game of Thrones.
I actually watched my first episode ever a couple weeks ago, and it was just random third season. I was at my sister-in-law's house, and they had it on, and it's okay, Game of Thrones, So it seems kind of like a medieval kind of ancient time. War of 7 colonies or countries or whatever.
Right.
So, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And people comment on it, hey, I love Game of Thrones, or I've never seen Game of Thrones, and really nobody cares.
Some people do, which is really weird.
A lot of people do. A lot of people watch the show. Let's see. Getting to some sports news.
Yay!
Yay, sports news!
Sports ball?
Sports ball. We've only got a couple sports ball newses. How about LSU's athletic director, Joe Alleva, something like that,
Okay.
is expected to step down.
Because.
Well, I guess because his tenure basically he fired Les Miles. He tried to fire him 1 year, and then to get Jimbo Fisher, who was another coach that used to coach for us, but they turned us down.
Right.
And so he kept Les Miles and then fired him the next year.
Why would he fire Les Miles?
I guess because he wasn't winning championships.
Okay.
They had the basketball scandal this past year, with the coach that was paying they had the whole FBI recording of them, and they were paying players and stuff.
No, I didn't know that.
And the coach had to sit out the rest of the year.
So who coached?
I guess the assistant coaches.
Ah.
So, needless to say, a couple bad things happening under his leadership. So he's expected to step down.
Well,
we'll see kind of who they bring in.
Right. Sounds like it's appropriate for him to step down.
Yeah, it hadn't really been going too good. How about in Lafayette? They are owning the UFC, which I know we've got a couple training centers around here, but they got 2 champions right now in the UFC from Lafayette or the Acadiana area.
Who's that?
Well, the heavyweight champion is Daniel Cormier, and he's getting ready to go against Brock Lesnar.
Good for him.
Yeah, and that's going to be big $1 million Vegas fight. you
Right.
know. And the new lightweight champion, Dustin Poirier.
Okay.
And so 2 champions from the Lafayette area. Daniel Cormier, I guess in his last fight was toting Acadiana flag.
Good for him.
Yeah,
I mean,
so, repping the area.
represent.
Repping the area.
Right.
So,
So now there's
and these Cajun boys can go and just whoop some ass in the UFC, we're the Cajun Navy, we're the Cajun military, the Cajun whatever.
Right. The hometown butt kicking.
Well, just we got some coon ass boys that, are basically your old school man to man, I guess as far as hunting and fishing and killing alligators and whatever we do here in Acadia. And I don't know, that's pretty stereotypical, but I haven't ever killed an alligator.
Good. Well, no, not good. Just,
Yes.
if you had that, I would think that was kind of weird.
Let's see, a couple of little Saints stories. Saints schedule came out.
Ah, okay. I wasn't sure whether we were talking about Saints since the cathedral fire.
Yeah.
Oh, right. We were talking
Football
about
Saints.
sports.
We're on sports.
Yeah, sports.
So, Saints schedule came out for 2019. We've got 4 night games,
Okay.
in prime time. And also the Saints Station Squad was released. And how about this for equality? 3 of the 32 cheerleaders are men.
Okay.
They
Okay.
are very effeminate.
They're
men.
athletic and gymnastic and all the
Right.
things that are necessary to
Surely.
do the routines to encourage the fans to rah.
So last year was a big story that I think the Saints had hired the first male, and I think the Rams had another male on their team too.
Okay.
This year we got 3.
Good.
So
Yeah.
before you know it, it'll be a bunch of male cheerleaders on the sideline.
You know that's what it used to be?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see the band.
No, it was an all-dude thing. I mean, it really, there was no chicks. I mean, it was
Well, they had
dudes
girl
that did the boola
What are you doing
boola.
there?
No, they had the megaphone.
What are you doing on the sideline of your game?
Boola boola. You know, they had the leather helmets, and no wonder they were Dane Bramaged.
Dane Bramaged. That's good. I like that. Whoa. Okay, so we've talked about basically crap for the last 45 minutes. You know? I mean, oh, no. We made you a little smarter.
We've smeared things all over the place.
Well, we've got some big topics to get to in our final 10 minutes, which our final 10 minutes are usually pretty good because we're trying to cram as much, you know, of the good stuff that we have left into one show.
Right, we want to fill all the cracks.
Yes, we do. So we've got some studies. You ready for them, Acadiana? And if you want to call in and give some commentary, you know, just even like to say that you love this show and you enjoy watching it. You know, it doesn't even have to be Thursday. Call us on Saturday.
Yeah.
We probably won't be.
Yeah.
Okay, so some studies. Yale scientists restore brain function to 32 clinically dead pigs.
I saw that. Not full brain function, but there was cortical activity.
It's a slippery slope.
You know what? If it could save a person's life, if they
Once
could-
they're clinically dead,
if there's one of those, you know, field injuries where you could just jab the person, fill their little.
kind of like they did with, I don't know, what's his name from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Coulson, Agent Coulson.
Did they do that with Coulson?
Yeah, pretty much he like died and Nick Fury like used some alien technology they had to basically like put some stuff in his brain and like keep him alive.
Wow. Okay. See, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
I'd be good with that.
Which I'm looking forward to the new season of that coming out after the Avengers comes out next week. 7 days, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my!
Oh my.
Just still haven't seen Captain Marvel or Shazam yet.
Me.
Need to go do it. Need to go do it before the break.
No, just.
At least Shazam. I don't know.
I mean,
Can
I've
I
been-
wait? Can
I've
I wait?
been-
Probably.
There's been too much stuff going on. Yeah. And going out.
Okay, we'll come back to that one.
Go ahead.
Scientists say that we need to stop sanitizing everything and let bacteria back into our lives.
Okay.
We've got more bacteria in our gut than the stars in the galaxy, and they protect us.
Yeah.
They are basically like antibodies fighting off bacteria. I guess.
Right, and breaking down certain pathogens, whatever.
So
that
playing
we
in the
find.
dirt and getting bobos is
Right.
good for us.
Right. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Hello. How about men's beards
I read
are
that.
dirtier than dogs?
Yeah. You know, yeah, that's why I always.
Gotta get a little trim. Got a little trim.
Yeah.
But they're dirtier than dogs. There's more microbes in a man's beard than there are in dirty dogs.
Well, then the group of men that they were interviewing were not doing something right. They were spending more time oiling and not enough time cleaning.
Well, they were probably like taking poops and wiping themselves and then just like stroking their beard, you know. After like they like stroked the poop on their cell phone.
Just such a
It's poop particles. It's poop particles.
I know, but an image, man. I need some.
That's what's going on in our lives,
I
ladies
need
and
some
gentlemen.
mind bleach now.
How about in Papua New Guinea? Papua, how do you?
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea.
What he said.
Yes.
Doctors are warning men to stop injecting their penises with cooking oil to make them bigger. Apparently, there's been over 500 cases of this, but it's causing the penises to burst open. and I would not want to be in that room.
God. Oh,
So stop in Papua New Guinea.
wait, so they're injecting vegetable oil?
They're putting vegetable oil in their penises to make them look bigger, and they're like bubbling over and exploding,
Oh.
bursting open.
Oh, that's just unimaginably gross. Yeah.
And I'm sure like more than cooking oil probably comes out whenever it bursts.
Spooge.
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Well, it's not marijuana. Alcohol is apparently the #1 gateway drug.
Well, yeah.
Well, that's due to this study. But apparently, when you use alcohol, you're 13 times more likely to use cigarettes, 16 times more likely to use marijuana, and other drugs. How about that one? They just threw all those together, and then they separated this one. 13 times more likely to do cocaine. So marijuana, other drugs, to cocaine,
Right.
to cigarettes.
There's a higher correlation between early cigarette use and cocaine use because they stimulate the same receptors in the brain, and people that start smoking early, when they get an opportunity to do coke, they do because it stimulates those same receptors in their brain.
Seems like you have a lot of knowledge about this.
I know lots of stuff.
Oh, fishy. This is even a little fishy. How about the United States spending more on the prison system than it does on public schools?
Shameful.
California is actually the worst. New York is second worst. Connecticut, New Jersey, Rhode Island. And California spends $65,000 per prisoner, while they only spend $11,000 per student. So think of all those classes that don't have any textbooks. Think of all those teachers that don't get that pay raise.
Right.
Think of all of the nonsense while you're housing these prisoners at over $60,000 a year. I mean, that's a pretty dang good life.
Right.
It's a step up for a lot of them.
Now,
Because some other side statistics they gave with this study, for each teacher, they average about 21 students. Okay? Where each prison guard only has about 5.3 prisoners. You know, because you have to have more people watching over, I guess.
all right.
66% of inmates have not graduated high school.
No.
It's a big predictor.
Right.
It's a big predictor.
Right.
And unfortunately, African American males, ages 20 to 24, without a high school diploma are more likely to be in jail than not.
Yes.
That's messed up.
Yes. That's a statistic that's just...
I mean, you got to graduate high school, number one, but, you know, those are some crazy numbers. Some crazy, mind-boggling numbers.
Right.
But even more, we got 3 minutes left to talk about this, but even more mind-boggling is this 5G revolution.
Oh, where we're going to cook ourselves.
We are basically letting the government do human experiments on us with this 5G. This stuff has never been tested. The only testing that has been done is industry studies, and they're not going to produce anything bad about it.
Of course not.
The politicians are all playing dumb about this, saying they don't understand anything about cell phone technology. And like, there's video documented evidence of this in Congress hearings, to the UN, etc. And I watched this very interesting documentary on it last night. It's on YouTube. The video is called 5G Apocalypse, and the extinction event, basically. But it pretty much, and a lot of this is based on this study that I was telling here. Cell phone radiation basically causes adverse health effects. And this is based off of a $25 million 10-year research. But basically, cell phones increase the rates of cancer. Children are the most vulnerable because of their skull thickness and the development of their brain. But basically, EMRs, or electromagnetic radiation, can penetrate wood, plastic, blankets, and the guy basically guidelines for users with cell phones in California: don't keep it in your pocket, keep it away from your bed, turn it off at night. It's linked to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, behavior problems, asthma, insomnia, autism, obesity, fertility problems, stress, ADHD. You're supposed to use your speaker, use your regular phone if accessible. Avoid putting the laptop on your lap. Basically, and like you can sell these. They have these sleeveless containers that you can try to like put it on, and it helps like cover some of the signal from, like getting all up in you.
Oh, right. Well, I know about the Faraday pouches. You slide your phone in,
Right.
it seals over, and it creates that electromagnetic shield around your phone so that it's not radiating, which means you're not absorbing.
Which is good, but I mean, like ultimately, like they've spent $30 trillion on the infrastructure of this, and essentially they are going to be able to like infrared like scan every like 3-dimensional device within your home, see where you're at every single moment. It's Big Brother come to life, and it's harmful to our health. So I strongly urge you to check out the documentary, The 5G Apocalypse. Check it out. We've only got about 15 seconds left, but Mo, you got any last thoughts on it?
You need to be careful.
Yeah, do your own research on this, folks. We're the real fake news. But
And
for Mo,
Nay.
happy higher thought. Y'all have a happy Easter, 420, all that good stuff.
Hippity hoppity.
Hip hop, hippity hop, hip hip hop, and you don't stop. Rock it to the bang and boogie up, boogie, boogie.